Monday, April 20th, day 456, Trump announced that the United States has destroyed Iran's nuclear sites. He called it Operation Midnight Hammer. Today, he spent the day explaining why he's winning and why everyone who says otherwise is a traitor. 7:46 in the morning, a retail sales piece. Quote, retail sales and housing suggest a resilient consumer. End quote. The economy's good. Noted. Moving on. 10:16 a.m. Israel. Quote, Israel never talked me into the war with Iran. The results of October 7th added to my lifelong opinion that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. Did, end quote. This is Trump addressing a specific narrative that Netanyahu pushed him into this. He's saying, no, it was his call, his conviction, his timeline. He goes on, just like the results in Venezuela, which the media doesn't like talking about, the results in Iran will be amazing. And if Iran's new leaders regime change are smart, Iran can have a great and prosperous future. Regime change, in parentheses, exclamation point. 1:35 p.m., Trump goes long on the JCPOA. Quote, the deal that we are making with Iran will be far better than the JCPOA, one of the worst deals ever made. It was a guaranteed road to a nuclear weapon. They actually gave $1.7 billion in green cash, loaded into a Boeing 757, and flown to Iran for Iranian leadership to spend any way they saw fit. End quote. He's relitigating Obama's Iran deal while simultaneously announcing his own. The contrast he's drawing, Obama gave them cash, Trump gave them a hole in their nuclear sites. Quote, if a deal happens under Trump, it will guarantee peace, security, and safety, not only for Israel and the Middle East, but for Europe, America, and everywhere else, end quote. The quotes around Trump are his own. 5 minutes later, 1:40 p.m., quote, the Democrats are doing everything possible to hurt the very strong position we are in with respect to Iran, end quote. He then runs through a timeline of every American war since World War I, listing their exact durations in years, months, and days, to argue that defeating Iran in weeks is historically fast. And then, quote, we won't let the weak and pathetic Democrats, traitors all, end quote. Caps, all of them, traitors, all of them. He ends, this is being perfectly executed on the scale of Venezuela, just a bigger, more complex operation. The result will be the same. 2:28 p.m., quote, I'm winning a war by a lot. Things are going very well. Our military has been amazing. End quote. He then describes what's left of Iran's military. Navy wiped out. Air Force on, quote, darker runways, no anti-missile equipment, former leaders mostly gone. And then the blockade, quote, the blockade, which we will not take off until there is a deal, is absolutely destroying Iran. They are losing $500 million a day, an unsustainable number, even in the short run. End quote. $500 million per day. Quote, the anti-America fake news media is rooting for Iran to win, but it's not going to happen because I'm in charge, end quote. 2:43 p.m., one of the shorter posts of the day, but notable. Quote, the Iranian leadership has forced hundreds of ships toward the United States, mostly Texas, Louisiana, and Alaska, to get their oil. Thank you very much, end quote. The thank you very much is doing a lot of work here. He's framing Iranian oil ships heading to U.S. ports not as a crisis, but as a win. Iran is desperate for buyers. American refineries apparently are happy to oblige. At 3:01, he reposts 3 of his earlier Iran posts verbatim, in case anyone missed them. By 9:30 in the evening, Trump shifts domestic. 9:33, Rick Scott, quote, thank you to Senator Rick Scott. Hopefully justice will finally prevail, end quote. 3 exclamation points. Scott introduced legislation to repudiate the 2019 Trump impeachment. 9:34, one word, capital T, quote, treason, end quote. 3 exclamation points linked to a piece about Democrats and the Ukraine narrative. Just the one word, 9:35, seniors and tax deductions. Quote, Trump's historic rating with seniors boosted by tax deductions, end quote. Back to the economy, 2-minute window. War, treason, polls. That's the rhythm. 11:04, Keir Starmer. Quote, Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom acknowledged that he exercised wrong judgment when he chose his ambassador to Washington. I agree, he was a really bad pick. Plenty of time to recover, however, end quote. Diplomatic, sort of. The however at the end is the tell. 11:22 p.m. Quote, Operation Midnight Hammer was a complete and total obliteration of the nuclear dust sites in Iran. Therefore, digging it out will be a long and difficult process. Fake news CNN and other corrupt media networks and platforms fail to give our great aviators the credit they deserve, always trying to demean and belittle. Losers, end quote. Nuclear dust sites. He means uranium enrichment and processing facilities. Reduced, he's claiming, to radioactive rubble. Whether that's complete is a matter of ongoing debate. What isn't? This is Trump's victory lap, and he's angry the media isn't celebrating with him. Day 456, Operation Midnight Hammer, Iran's nuclear sites described as obliterated, a deal being negotiated, a blockade costing $500 million a day. Regime change declared in parentheses, Democrats called traitors, CNN called corrupt. Keir Starmer told he made a bad call. Rick Scott thanked. One word: treason. All of this on a Monday. Trump last 24 hours. See you tomorrow.